What's up, my friends in the film fandom, wherever you may be and however you may be watching? Thank you so much for giving us a little bit of your time. Uh, After what, about 27 years between season 4 and season 5? I think all these kids are about a year away from collecting AARP benefits now, which is about the same as me. We finally get season 5 of Stranger Things. Here to break it down with me is, of course, my hero life mate Jeremy. What's up, brother?
Yeah, I'm glad we're finally here now that the kids are all 40 years old. So it's it's time to wrap this up. As you can tell, I'm looking at the picture. I love that picture right after the background, and I'm like, oh yeah. When I look at it, like that's definitely season 1. That's when they were all fetuses. So yeah, um, yeah, we're in. I'm assuming the home stretch. So this is one hell of a start. So kind of excited to break this down.
Yes, I am excited as well. BJ here as always. Good to talk to you, BJ, as always. Darkroom Reviews is here. He's got some stuff popping on his channel. Go check out Darkroom Reviews as well. But we're going to start tonight on a bit of a sad note. You know, I refer to Jeremy as my hetero life mate quite often, every day to start the show for a reason, because Jeremy and I are big fans of this man right here, Kevin Smith. And unfortunately, he did announce today that his mother had passed away. Let's see. According to our friends at MSN.com from People Magazine, actually, on November 30th, the Clerks director, 55, shared a photo of himself with his mother in a hospital room and revealed that he had flown to Florida days prior for an unplanned emergency trip to see his mom, who was suddenly on death's doorstep. He did go on to say that she had bounced back, was returning from the brink that weekend. However, on Tuesday the 2nd, he announced that his mom had passed away the night before. She would have turned 80 later this December. It is he did release in a very long post on Instagram his feelings. I'll read a part of it here. The bill for 55 years of unconditional love came due December 1st, and the costly price was having to watch the strongest person I've ever known, my absolute favorite person in the world, exit the stage after a lifetime of setting it for her children. My mom is gone, Smith wrote in a Instagram caption, sharing gallery of family photos. And boy, if you read this thing in its entirety, you understand why he's such a great writer. I mean, this invokes emotion. I got kind of teary-eyed just reading it. But, Eagle Eye fans would know that Kevin Smith's mom is also the milkmaid from all the Clerks,
Yes,
from the Clerks films. A very fun meta way, and she did it so convincingly as well. Jeremy, you and I have been unapologetic fans of Kevin Smith for many, many years. I mean, going back to the 90s and the amazing independent film that came out in that era, led, of course, in part by Kevin Smith and Clerks, and everything he's done since then. What are some of your quick thoughts on the passing of Ma Smith?
I mean, someone like you said, someone that we definitely adore is Kevin Smith, and to be fair, if it wasn't for his mom, we wouldn't have Kevin Smith. So very obviously important person to us just as well. And I still, every single time I go to the store, I still even if I look for more than like a second in my back of my head, I'm like, okay, I'm not being a milkmaid about it. I mean, I'll grab a thing of milk and I'll take one. Even though I do look at the dates and I'm like, okay, which one? This one's like a day later. I'll take this one. So it's ingrained into my head. And it's a cool staple in those movies. And of course, as we know, we saw, I think it was Clerks 3, his daughter kind of, I guess, taking up that mantle of being the milkmaid in the third Clerks movie, which was a nice nod to her cameo in Clerks. But yeah, like you said, even it just kind of hurts. It really hurts when someone like you don't even know, but you feel like you know him. And like you said, Kevin Smith is one fucking hell of a writer. I didn't read all of it. I got to read the most of it when I came home today, and it sucks. I saw that post where he went to go meet up with his mom, and then today, unfortunately, I saw that she had passed away. So just it hurts. There's not much else I can say, but man, thanks for being around and thanks for giving us Kevin Smith. So that's you're kind of the seed that planted this, this world that that you and I both adore to no end.
Yeah, the View of Scootiverse has been one of the funnest, most realistic and grounded film experiences that I've ever had. me and you talking about Clerks before. I mean, I've even said it's like the conversations that Dante and Randall have are like so many of the conversations that you and I have had sitting, just sitting around enjoying a beer or watching a movie. We've had so many conversations like this. It's so real. Yeah. And I think a lot of his creativity comes maybe not from her creativity, but just like he said, from her setting the stage. We all are kind of fostered by our parents in one way or another to down whatever path we choose. And luckily she was a supportive parent to let him get into filmmaking, which, let's face it, is not, I don't think anybody looks at their newborn child and says like, gee, I really hope you're an independent filmmaker. It's like,
right,
lawyer or something like that. But because he dropped out of film school to try to go make Clerks. Most parents would have been like, maybe you should stay in school. Staying in school is something that parents say. But she was just like, follow your dream. Shoot your shot now. Take your shot while you're still young enough to rebound from it if it doesn't work out the way you want. And that kind of confidence in your kid it's sadly today it's not very. It's kind of uncommon. I try to be that way with my kids. I try to make sure that they don't stray too far from the path. I want them to blaze their own path as much as possible. So I try to do what I think Ma Smith did, what I think Grace did. But respect and love to Kevin Smith and his family as they're going through this time. I think his daughter is coming up on getting married, or maybe she just recently got married. I forget. But
I know she was engaged, but I'm not sure if they have gotten married yet. I actually don't know.
But definitely love and respect to Kevin Smith and his family in this trying time. To lose somebody so supportive is terrible. I mean, I lost my dad a couple of years ago and it wiped me out. And it just, so I understand. But yeah, love and respect to the Smith family as they deal with this terrible loss. But Kevin Smith, like I said, I could tell by the way he wrote that tribute to his mother that while the grief is there right now, he's already ready to go forward and take the lessons forward and tackle the hell out of this world and do what his mom wanted him to do, even in her loss. So respect to that family while they're dealing with their hard times. We look forward to seeing more Kevin Smith material in the days to come, and maybe he'll work this into Clerks 4 somehow. We don't know.
But I was gonna say, I'll be weird about it, but I was like, well, maybe there's something there for Clerks 4, man, because he draws from his real life. So
he does. So maybe I don't know. Maybe he'll draw inspiration from this somehow. He will tell his story somehow, and we will all be the better for it. But let's get down to why we are here now. We are here, of course, to talk about episode 1 of the final season of Stranger Things, albeit 27 years after we wanted to get it, but it is here. We're going to structure this in a bit differently because it's not a film, it's more of a movie, so I've got some talking points here that we're going to go over. Obviously, if you've not seen episode 1, The Crawl of Stranger Things, that's what we're going into, so maybe you want to put this in your bookmark folder, your watch later folder if you haven't seen it yet. I am not watching all of them in one move. I'm trying to like savor this a bit. I actually watched the second episode yesterday because I wanted to make sure I had it kind of in my head. I was getting the stream together for Thursday.
I haven't seen it.
But I'm trying to watch these like one at a time and not blow through all of them. My son sat and watched them all over the course of like a few hours, and he was like, "I need you to watch them so somebody to talk about them with." And I'm like, "Well, go find other friends that watch it." But there are definitely some very interesting things. And let's start with kind of the beginning of where we started. There was that flashback. I don't want to go into it too much because it got released on the internet and YouTube and everything about a week before. But you had that opening scene that kind of takes us back to the beginning. It actually shows us the abduction of Will. And it kind of like going back to the beginning to set us up for what's coming at the end. What do you think of that scene and how it kind of got us back? Because I felt like it was a good way to get us back into the world of Stranger Things before it started giving us the actual meat and potatoes of this final season. What do you think of that?
It was cool to go back to the beginning, something that happened in season 1, seeing the Upside Down. And I do like that. I mean, this whole time, as we kind of learned from the end of season 4, that it's always been Vecna. Like, Vecna's always been there in some capacity, pulling the strings, whether it's, through something like the Demogorgons or even the Mind Flayer. It's like, it's been him. He is the big bad. So, and I'm like, I don't really recall us seeing too much of at least what happened to Will when he was in the Upside Down in season 1. So first of all, seeing a Demogorgon not like just rip you to shreds on sight, because that seems to be their MO most of the time. It just like drags him into the Vecna's cave like it's a freaking Wampa, and he's Luke Skywalker, and just here you go, just leaves him. Because I kind of figured as this has gone on, like it seems like there's still something with Will that we don't quite understand. Like, and as I think as Steve put it, he gets the goosies right. He's on his neck, and every once in a while, you get this little like Spidey Peter tingles, and
Peter Tingle. That's what I was thinking when I saw it too.
He starts getting his Will goosies, and like he's got this weird like. Not like it's like kind of Spidey sense, but kind of like some force ability. Like all of a sudden, something just happens and he feels his neck goes cold, and it's like, oh shit, something's happening. And I'm like, we haven't really explored that or done much with Will. So seeing that he at least came across Vecna when he was still a child, and quite literally, if you saw it, but I'll give you a visual. I think Vecna was quite literally just laying the seeds for his master plan. Just it happened to be in. It's like some alien Ridley Scott type shit where it goes down Will's throat. So I'm like, yeah, there's a bigger plan here, and I think we're gonna see maybe what that's all about. I don't. He said it to 11 last season. He's saying it to Will. He just likes to talk about we're gonna do beautiful things. I'm like, can you explain what these beautiful things are, you vague bastard? Just please tell me what it is. But yeah, cool flashback.
Yeah, I thought it was an interesting flashback. It was interesting to go back to the very beginning of this whole thing and to really detail the story of exactly what happened during the kidnapping of Will during the first season. Again, it also, like you said, it was something straight out of a horror movie. When he puts him up against the wall and he's wrapped up with those tentacles, and that thing hits his mouth and starts pumping whatever it is through him. I was like, wow, that's something straight out of a sci-fi horror film. It was it was very visual, very brutal. And I was like, damn, we're starting off kind of hard in this. Another reason I thought that scene was interesting is it occurred to me as I was watching it in one of the last trailers that came out. It has that scene where Vecna and Will come face to face again. And Vecna says something to Will like it started with you, and we will finish this, or something like that. So it was a nice bit of setup for what we're going to eventually get when that scene does come around. Maybe it's in this first drop of episodes that's come out. Maybe it won't be till the end. I don't know. I don't care. It's going to be a cool moment anyway. But that's going to set up nicely that scene. It's going to be an instant reminder of holy shit. It started with these two right here. This entire situation that we have found ourselves in through the entire run of the series started with these two characters. So I thought that was a great way to start things off. But now let's talk about life in Hawkins. It's a very interesting place that we find ourselves in Hawkins now. This episode actually moves us to November of 1987. It's actually 4 years after the beginning of all this stuff. The Wheelers and the Byers are now living together. It's obviously a bit of a tight situation, but but from a smaller standpoint, it's kind of an interesting visual and a comparison to what's happening all over Hawkins. Hawkins now essentially is a military quarantine town where you can't get in or out without being allowed by the military. And obviously we see Hawkins remains under military quarantine. Soldiers easily outnumber the civilians. Residents are undergoing mandatory health checks. They're obviously still lying to them about whatever this phenomenon was. Nobody allowed to leave or to come or go. And there is now, I guess, a regular portal to the Upside Down, which I find very interesting. What do you think of the situation that the city of Hawkins finds itself in right now?
I was interested to see where we were all going to end up now, being that the last time we left off was like spring of 86, and now we're like deep into like November of 87. I'm like, well, okay, damn. So we've still been, it's been some time that's passed. And I wonder, because when I always say you go bigger, every sequel, every next thing, you kind of go bigger. And I thought, when it ended with all these gates and these rifts opening up just right in the middle of Hawkins, just literally kind of splitting it 4 different ways to Sunday. So I'm like, okay, so now what? Like, oh crap, that's one hell of a visual. But it makes sense that, obviously, since they've been pursued by the military, pretty much, constantly. It would kind of make sense that if anyone who didn't already get out of Dodge is now just kind of stuck with this as their way of life. And it's interesting they they put down metal plates over the rift or something, and they're great for sledding, but maybe just don't let anybody the people with guns see you do that. Apparently, because
I thought that was hilarious. They're literally sledding down these big metal pipes. God, I mean, heaven forbid one of those things should fall, because who the hell knows how deep into the earth this crack goes. But whatever, I guess.
Yeah.
In the 80s, we just kind of did shit when we were kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially since it's a portal to another dimension. Just casual things. And that's the thing is we don't. I mean, I'm kind of assuming that no one else really probably knows the danger of it and what it really is, except for the cast of people that we've been following. So yeah, it kind of doesn't surprise me. Like that's where we're at now. That it's kind of it's being, I guess, for the all intents and purposes, kind of contained, and I wouldn't say controlled, but they're trying to do something about it. I assume we're going to talk about the soldiers that just happen to casually be in the Upside Down later.
Oh, where do you get to that?
Yeah. Okay, because I'm like, I don't want to ruin that just yet, but I was also kind of like, hello, what? But it does again. It kind of makes me wonder. So how are we going to, if anyone else is a D&D nerd like myself, if I may, in the words of Matt Mercer, so how are we going to do this? How do you want to do this? So now I'm like, well, how do we deal with this? Kind of the only gate being guarded into the Upside Down is by all these military personnel. So it was cool to see that. That's now they're like, okay, we all got to coordinate and do this crawl, which again, because they're nerds, that's a dungeon crawl. I see what you're putting down, guys. So. Yeah,
I think it's very interesting that Hawkins has now become a de facto military prison, I guess is the only real way to say it.
Pretty much.
But I also think it's interesting that they're keeping the portal open so that they can, and we'll go into more detail later, have this base in the Upside Down where they are doing whatever it is they're doing. We don't quite know the purpose of this base yet. We don't quite know why Sarah Connor is in there doing what she's doing. But
I was gonna say.
But there is now a presence in there, which is odd. I remember thinking to myself, I can't imagine that Vecna would allow them to build a base in there. Like maybe you could get maybe you could drive a couple of groups of people going in there and like looking around might be one thing, but there's a full-fledged, not a huge one, but there's a full-fledged military base and presence in the Upside Down now, which I was kind of like, really, it's the Vecna either A, doesn't know, or B, doesn't care. Both those are odd, but I want to see how this plays out, because like in my head, I was like, maybe he's just letting him get comfortable so that they could do something stupid that's going to benefit him later on. He's going to jump on his
time.
Yeah, so maybe that's my guess. But yeah, it's an interesting place where life in Hawkins, after the events of last season is definitely very, very interesting. But let's talk now about Dustin. And boy, it has been
oh my God, yes.
He has. Look, I will tell you flat out, the moment he came on screen the first time in this episode, he became the most interesting character of this entire season to me.
Yes,
there is something has fundamentally, and I think, well, I mean, not for the better. I mean, as far as the story is concerned, something has happened to him that has definitely changed his outlook on the world. What do you think about his problems at school, everything that went on with him over the course of this episode? What do you think about Dustin's arc and where it's starting at the first episode of season 5?
I think we have an Eddie Jr. on our hands a little bit. I'm getting tinges of some Eddie in this, and I understand. I mean, that's the last thing that that happened to him is he was with Eddie when he died, and Eddie told him take care of everybody for me, take care of Hellfire and everybody in it. And I was like, damn, dude, so I kind of get. I mean, first thing you see, obviously he's still wearing the Hellfire Club shirt. He's kind of just got. I mean, I kind of get it. And like I said, I've always liked Dustin, but like you said, I'm like, as soon as he came in this season, I kind of sat forward a little bit. I'm like, oh Jesus, he kind of had my attention. I'm like, damn, dude, I think he's kind of gotten to that point where I think that traumatic event of losing Eddie the way he did, and then he died in his arms, basically. Not to make an Eddie's reference, but there you go. He died in his arms tonight. So
That song is on my Spotify playlist. I want everybody to know.
Yeah, I mean, probably on one of mine too, to be fair. But yeah, man, I think that did something to him. And in this time, he's kind of had time to sit with that. And again, since he's still wearing that shirt, and as we saw there the picture, he's getting bullied by these guys. And I'm like, I'm not sure if I would have thought Dustin would be the kind of guy like he kind of squared up to him too a little bit. Like he's like, I'm not like afraid of you, man. Like I don't care. There's nothing you can do to me that like I really give a shit about. And like, man, he went in there with that intent. He went into that room and saw that snake, and I thought, is he gonna sick this snake on that kid? I'm like, oh my god, good for you, Dustin. Holy shit. He's like, hey, you ready to go on a field trip? I was like, dude, Dustin has grown a fucking pair of balls, and I love it. I mean, he gets back at him, and of course, I'm like, I know it's the classic bully trope. I'm like, yeah, you're big and tough now, Mr. Jock, when you have like 4 of them jumping one kid. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. But because I mean, he's the one that goes to. I don't know if you have a picture of it, but it is kind of a gut punch seeing Eddie's grave, and of course, people still can't let it. Yeah, still can't let it go. And I was like, God damn, they're still on about this guy. And he goes to Eddie's grave to, just I'd probably to again because he knows that's gonna happen, and he goes to clean it off, and the blood's still fresh, and I'm like, what? You see the snake in the grass? I'm like, oh damn it. And I'm like, man, these guys, Dustin, and these jocks are just going at it back and forth, and again, I think Dustin has the biggest pair of balls this season because he took that lacquer, that paint thinner, and threw it in that kid's face. I'm like, Jesus Christ. All right, I'm here for it. Man, Dustin is just choosing violence this season.
Yeah, we are very, very far away from that kid that was singing the never-ending story at the end of season 3.
Right.
Because they've all managed to hold on to the kid aspect of their characters throughout the entire run, through the first 4 seasons. This has all been happening to a bunch of kids. Now, maybe part of it is because they decided to wait 12 years between seasons, and you kind of have to age the kids up with the actors. But it's hard not to recognize that all these characters have gone through profound growth under immense stress, running away and fighting monsters and other dimensions and kidnappings and all this crazy stuff that has happened to all of them at some point over the course of this series. It's like it seems to be most visible now in how it's changed Dustin, which I dig. Like I said, I was thinking about it as I was watching him like fight one-on-one with these 4 jocks. I was like I said, this is the kid who was singing Neverending Story a minute ago. And I'm like, this that was the moment to me where I was like, there's no more innocence in this. Like everybody's a warrior now. Everybody's a soldier in one way, shape, or form. So that innocence is now gone, and I think that's part of. I think one of the reasons why they wrote that in is because that's kind of part of the tragedy of this entire thing. It's like these kids have all had their youth kind of stolen from them because of the series of events that has happened because of Vecna, and obviously Elle because of her experiences being experimented on and whatnot. It's that the innocence is gone now, and I think that was a great way of showing that is by, in no uncertain terms, showing how much Dustin has changed. Dude, when he walks in the hallway for the first time, I was just kind of like, because I was, me and Jennifer were sitting watching, and I was like, that's a different look on his face. I remember saying it out loud. It was like, he's of single-minded.
They're looking at him, but he's looking back at him like, what the hell are you looking at? Like,
yeah, he was of single-minded intent, and I was like, wow, that is a Dustin that we have never seen before. So yeah, he is easily my my favorite, the character I am most excited to see what's going to happen to him over the course of this final season, because the big question that lingers around all these, and again, I've only seen the first 2 episodes, so don't spoil it if you know, is that who's going to die? Who's going to live? Who's going to die? Who's going to survive? Do they all die? I mean, part of me could put together some pretty rational explanations as to why all of them die. It's like equally, I could put together some pretty good ideas about why they should all live, but I'm like, I don't feel like all of them living happily ever after is going to be a suitable ending to this whole thing. But
I think that's why they had that whole dialogue between Mike and 11. Like when he said, like, well, when my campaign's end, everyone lives happily ever after. I'm like, yeah, that's great, Mike, but I don't know if that's They even talk about it a little bit. Like, she's like, "Is that going to happen for us?" And you know, kind of like, well, hopefully. I'm like, yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I do love everybody's spirit in this episode. We're like, yeah, let's go in there. We're gonna kill Vecna once and for all. I'm like, guys, it's episode 1. It's not happening today. Okay, hate to break your heart, but it ain't gonna happen today. I'm just saying. So, yeah, and that's why. And if everyone can see, I think I butchered the quote a little bit, but I guess that's why I picked my quote was from Dustin. Like I said, he's holding on to that still. When they're like, yeah, we're gonna go kill Vecna, and he's like, yeah, I mean, I wish I could have killed him myself for Eddie. I'm like, Jesus. Yeah, he's been stewing on that for a minute.
Yeah, you can imagine why he would though. But let's talk now about their doubts about Vecna. Every one of these crawls explores a new section of the Upside Down. They've completed more than 30 of them apparently, but they still have no proof of Vecna's death, whether he's alive or dead. 11 can't seem to find him through her, brain means, whatever she does. Will can't feel him the way that he once did, and some are starting to wonder if Vecna has already moved on, either died or gone somewhere else. Nancy and Mike kind of refuse the idea. They argue that they have to keep going until they know for sure. What do you think about the doubts that come from a lot of different angles for this group about the whereabouts of Vecna? And for that matter, where do you think he is?
I mean, it kind of makes sense because, I mean, like, I think Steve said it. He's like, I mean, the last time we saw him, he was on fire, and Nancy, you pumped a couple of shotgun shells into his face. So I'm like, and then he fell 3 stories and disappeared like he was Michael Myers. I don't know if Nancy shot him 6 times, but she may have. I don't know. So it's like, that's not the end. Vecna's got something else up his sleeve, and I mean, he did manage to open the 4th, the 4th gate, which is what he was kind of planning on in the first place. It would be now that I've kind of seen. I don't know if you have a picture of them, like when they were burning the gate, it just opens up and you can just see right into the Upside Down. That would be a baller ass move if like that thing just opened up and then just Vecna just walks right in the middle of downtown Hawkins. Like, oh shit, we're about to throw down. Holy crap! Because I have a feeling that this might start crossing worlds. As for where Vecna is, I don't know. I kind of get everyone's doubts. They're like, well, we did like attack him, and he's just kind of gone, and no one else seems to really be. I mean, if anyone can't even find him, then I don't know. That should be concerning. But if they've been searching all this time and still trying to find any clue as to where he's at, and they haven't, it's like there's still that seed of doubt where you're like, yeah, but that can't be it. This stuff is still going on. And like we said, we'll get to it, but like the military's even like moved in. So like I said, he's laying low somewhere. As for where, I don't know. He could be deep in some other lair, and what part of the Upside Down, I don't know, since it's basically just Hawkins, reversed. And as Robin puts it, the part we're gonna go into, she's like, I don't know. There's like maybe a store there. Like, is he gonna go buy Lucky Charms? Like, who knows? Maybe he does. You don't know. I don't know. It's just kind of wild that we haven't found him yet. I know for show purposes that's obvious, but he's gonna turn up somewhere, and it's gonna be a hell of a fucking show when he does.
Yeah, I've often wondered how big is the Upside Down. I mean, because all that we've really seen of the Upside Down is the opposite of the Hawkins area, but Hawkins exists, at least in the universe, on Earth. So if you go into the Upside Down, is the Upside Down as big as Earth?
Is it a whole dimension of just Earth but upside down? Yeah.
If you leave that planet in the Upside Down and go to space in the Upside Down, is it Upside Down space? That's kind of, I don't know. It's one of those things that.
Well, then also, are you going up or down? Is it space? Is it inner space? I see what I mean. It hurts your brain a little bit.
It's like time travel. Damn it! So I fucking hate it. But yeah, I love the fact that they're on the hunt for him and can't find him, because sometimes the scariest thing is the thing you can't see. You don't know where it's at. It could be you know that it could be a million miles away from you and can't touch you, or it could be right behind you, or it could be under your bed. It could be hiding in your closet. There's so much unknown. That's what's making him scary right now. As I'm sitting there watching the first episode, I was thinking to myself, I
had an idea. Go ahead.
I was just saying, something I said already. I can't imagine that Vecna does not know that they are putting some kind of a military presence in the Upside Down through this gate. I can't imagine that he is not looking at that and saying, how can I make this work for me? Maybe that he's even watching them constantly and he kind of gets what they're doing, and he's trying to play a little bit of chess, and he's like, okay, 5 moves from now, you're going to do this, and I'm going to be ready for it. You're going to move right where I want you to move. And then I'm going to wipe out your base. I'm going to open up the portal again, and then I'm going to roll out there, and all hell's going to break loose. Because I feel like the end of this series, or the season series, either way, it's going to be apocalyptic. I don't think it's just going to be Hawkins. Because we've already kind of traveled outside of Hawkins with this. We went to Russia last year, or year before last, whichever year it was. But so there is other places on Earth that Vecna can get out. So I have a feeling
that's where my head just went. I'm like, wait, we did say in Russia, there was some shit going on. So maybe I don't know how far L's stuff can reach, but I'm like, maybe he could be laying low in Russia because there was a bunch of Demogorgons and Demodogs that were there. I know they got torched, but there was still shit because I guess in other places of the world that's, there was that portal between that went to Russia. So maybe that's where he's.
And that's one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons
he could be gathering, and then. Well, because like when they let the, I wasn't quite sure what they were getting with that in the last season when all the Demogorgons got released into the Russian prison, and they kind of like killed all of them, and he's like, oh, they're inside of them. I was like, wait, so did they take over the people in the prison? Because if that's the case, I mean, if Vecna sees like this military base inside the Upside Down, maybe he's like you said, he's gonna wait and be like, okay, then I'm gonna release all my stuff onto them, and that's all gonna sweep right into Hawkins, and boom, now I have an army to just lay waste to the world. So maybe that's what it is. Like I thought about it as we were talking. Like maybe he's just kind of laying low in Russia somewhere, because there was still some stuff there that was just kind of not explained. So yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that's one of the things that makes me wonder. It's like, how big is the Upside Down? I mean, is it the size of Earth? Because theoretically, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, so is he
just an alternate dimension, so it could be.
Did he just go to Europe in the Upside Down? He's chilling on a beach somewhere trying to get his shit back together so that he can make another run at getting L and doing whatever the hell it is he wants to do. Or is he just laying in the shadows watching the military build this base, and he knows he's going to go run roughshod over? Very interesting. Very it did what a good first episode does. It asks a lot of questions. It answers a few, but asks a lot more to try to lead us down the path for the rest of this thing. But let's take a minute now and talk about Holly's secret friend. That's going to become a very big thing. Holly Wheeler speaks to someone that only she can see, an imaginary friend. A teacher notices this and notifies her mom, Karen. Holly says her imaginary friend's name is Mr. Whatsit, and this imaginary friend is warning her about monsters in Hawkins. Mike reassures her gently and introduces her to Dungeons and Dragons to help her feel stronger. In a very, I could have sworn I had the picture here somewhere. In a very, here it is right here. In a very, I thought there was a whole lot of foreshadowing in this moment. Yeah. Okay.
The whole damn show hasn't been a D&D campaign. Like I was like, oh god, here we go. He's now the cleric. Now we've got. Oh shit. I was like, oh, here we go.
Yeah, I've watched a movie and a TV show or two, and I can tell you right now that's what foreshadowing looks like. But I thought that was I was watching that and I kind of got really excited. I was like, wait a minute, she's got her own D&D piece now, and there's a whole lot of symbolism behind it and things like that. What do you think of that scene, and where do you think that kind of thing is going to go in the long term for the rest of the series?
Yeah, she's joined the party now, so that's why it's like, oh, here we go. Mike's little sister's now in, and now she's the cleric. So I'm like, well, okay. Each of, like I said, this does all kind of mirror, some D&D aspects, obviously, and like we already know with like the main kids and some of the other characters in the show, you can pretty much figure out what they are. But yeah, introducing her is like now, because I'm like, now she's having these, like she can see. I saw some dude in like a trench coat and a fedora, and I'm like, again, my brain going to Fallout. I'm like, is this the mysterious stranger? Who the fuck is this guy? Like, what? That only she can see. So I'm like, so who is this, and who knows that just there's monsters in Hawkins? Now, it would be kind of wild if it was just what's his name, Jamie Bauer Campbell, guy who plays Vecna.
Yeah.
If it was just him in a trench coat, like, I mean, it's not a cleric thing, it's a druid thing, like where you can change shape and just pretend to be something else. But I'm like, man, that'd be so messed up if now, because now you have this new, again, person in the party, the D&D party now, who's younger, who probably doesn't really know as much as what's going on. And this is a new kind of fresh mind to manipulate and get worm his way into, which is what Vecna does. So, and they did say Vecna is like a pretty powerful dark wizard, so doesn't really, seem too far-fetched for him to, it could be him. I'm not just throwing everything and saying it's Vecna, but like that would be a wild thing if it was. Just kind of casually and out in the open, just walking around and talking to this little girl. I don't know. I didn't see episode 2, but of course, as soon as it comes up and I back out of Netflix and it says like, oh, the disappearance of Holly Wheeler. I'm like, well, way to ruin it. Like, I know what happened. I saw the Demogorgon like pop through the roof and like go to grab her. I'm like, oh, okay. But that could be one thing. Otherwise, I don't know who this could be or why. Some shady government guy who for some reason no one else can see, but I don't know.
The deity. I haven't talked to you in a while, brother. You said a lot of fans are saying this season is ass. It's not ass. For one, they've only released half of it, so you don't know what. See, we don't know how it's all going to end. It's easy to look at something that is not complete and say it's not good, but once it's complete, you're like, oh, wait a minute. Now I understand how everything falls into place. So I don't know.
You just want to hate the Beatles because they're popular. It's like,
yeah.
Okay,
I think that's a lot of. Right, I think that's a lot of what it is. It's just like film and television fandom is just so fucking terrible anyway. It's gotten so bad over the last probably 10 or 20 years.
To be fair, I thought this show initially was like, it was every fucking where and so overblown. And I'm like, now to be fair, I didn't actually start watching this until more recently. And I was like, all right, you know what? I'm not like in the hype train with everyone else when it came out, but I'm like, no, this is actually pretty cool. It's good. And like I said, I love the mirroring of the D&D aspect, which, it's not like I'm not like in a campaign right now, but yeah, I was like, I get it. Now I'm like, now I'm caught up, so now I don't really have a choice. Now I'm just in it, but
yeah, see it through the
end. I'll see it through, and like I said, it's because I'm interested. I want to see what happens. I think it's the big thing, and we're gonna hate on it. Like people did it with Walking Dead. You do it with the big thing that's like on TV or movie, whatever it may be at the time. Whatever.
Let's see. What am I talking about next? Let's go now to the one of the big questions that I know Jeremy wants to talk about, and that's the experiments that are going on in the Upside Down. We did get a brief glimpse at Sarah Connor and whatever the hell she's doing down there.
Oh, yes.
We got an interesting view of her dissecting some kind of upside downy kind of creature. Not exactly sure what she was doing without any real face mask or protection. She was obviously not afraid of what she was doing, what she was handling. But again, that asks some really, really big questions. She is now a government scientist who's leading what's called the Wolf Pack. She oversees experiments on demigorgons inside the military's Upside Down base. She makes it very clear that she is looking for 11 for whatever her reasons are. I don't know, Jeremy. It's there's a lot there that we don't know yet, a lot that we want to know, and we're going to get there over the course of the rest of the season. But I mean, what do you think is actually going on down there?
Well, and what a hell of a character, an actress to put in that role. Because again, I'm like, you have my fucking attention because this is Sarah Connor. This woman's dealt with Terminators and weird religious children in cornfields. so yeah, she's been through it a little bit. I don't know, and I'm assuming she's part of the military that was like the ones. I'm assuming they're the actual government that was after Elle in the last season, right? The one guy that kept going around and was looking for the scientists, right? And they came into the lab and had that very, very fucking. I'm like, I've seen Star Wars. All the soldiers are like looking down this tunnel. They're all like, in the walls and looking at the cover, and then here comes the door, bust open, and then they have this very episode 4, opening, and then I don't know if he was the general, whoever the hell walks in like he's Darth Vader. I was like, okay. Somebody saw Star Wars that week and was like, hey, it'd be really cool. But she seems to be tied in with them, this military that has been, again, pursuing Elle since at least the last season that we've seen. I don't really know what she's doing or what their whole plan is. Like, we see like this military base, and you start seeing the, whatever it's supposed to be on, if it's like ashes or the snow, whatever they keep calling it in the Upside Down. And I was like, hold up. What? No, wait, you're actually telling me these people are just straight up ground into the Upside Down. That's okay, interesting. And Sarah Connor here is, looking, also pursuing Elle because she needs her for something. As I'm like, something I don't, lady, but I'm interested to know what it is because she's just sitting there, dissecting on some sort of thing from the Upside Down, or I don't know, a Demogorgon of some sort. So I don't know what her angle is, but holy crap! I hope she's right. Like you said, I hope you realize that she's kind of in ground zero where Vecna could be at any moment. So that's ballsy.
Yeah, as I was watching the first episode, I was trying to think. I was like, do I believe that she's someone who just came into this situation recently? Or is she someone who's been involved with this since day one? Was she somehow involved in the experiments that created Vecna and Elle? Was she kind of always pulling Matthew Modine's strings for all these years before he finally was killed a couple of seasons ago? And now she's the one that is just kind of like Thanos. She's like, screw it, let's do it myself. I wonder exactly what, because I can't imagine that she's just some character who just kind of like stumbled across this situation, was like, I'm gonna get involved in this. I feel like that her hands have been on this from the beginning. At least that's what we're going to find out. I would almost be disappointed if we were to find out that she's just some character that was just filling in for the Matthew Modine character, and they were just like, well, let's go ahead and get her because we got Freddy Krueger a couple of years ago. We got Robert Englund,
right?
And then we've had like Sean Ashton, another 80s legend. It's like, so, and Matthew Modine himself, kind of an 80s legend. So it's like, let's just find somebody else in the 80s, early 90s.
Winona Ryder.
Love. Yeah, Winona Ryder herself from the 80s. So it's I don't think she's just somebody who just happened across the situation. I really think her involvement in this goes a lot farther. It goes a lot farther back than I think they've explained so far. And again, I've only watched the first 2 episodes, and they haven't explained a whole lot about her so far. I don't think they're going to explain a whole lot about her till probably the end, till close to the end. We finally get a real, like that big exposition dump as to exactly what her place in all this is. But yeah, seeing her on camera is always a good thing. She doesn't go wrong. Linda Hamilton, you put her in a bad movie, she's gonna make it kind of watchable. She's just she's all
but saying she's a big enough star that I'm like, it's got to be important, this character. It can't just be, oh, she just showed up. Like, you had to explain to me why she's been there since the beginning, because I'm like, you did have to explain that, oh yeah, Vecna has been there since the beginning. Like, okay, sure, why not? But
and for that matter, I think we may end up finding out that base did not just get put there after the events of last season. We may end up finding out that base has been either in some form of growth or being built for a while now. And maybe when all that shit was popping off last season, maybe she was one of the ones that was down there putting all this together, either to try to help defeat Vecna or to trap him or to do whatever, to do whatever she wants to do. But it's interesting. It's a lot of good stuff. Let's talk about the crawl going wrong now. Hopper does not want Elle to go on any of these missions, these crawls, which I think is kind of not a double entendre. It's kind of it was a cheeky little way to name this episode, because when I hear the crawl, I think of the crawl from Star Wars. So that's kind of where my mind went at first. Apparently,
it's a D&D reference.
Me not being the big D&D guy,
I caught it. Yeah, I was like, oh, okay.
But yeah, so they're in these missions looking for him, and finally one of them goes sideways. What do you think of that whole scene? Uh, Not Mike, but Will actually seeing through the eyes of the Demogorgon as this military convoy was getting whacked by this Demogorgon, and Hopper getting essentially trapped inside the Upside Down on one of his missions.
Well, like you said, I've seen a movie or TV show before, because of course they're like, I get the stakes are high, and he's like, we all had to be on top of our game here, because if we're not, I don't come back. Like, I'm stuck in the Upside Down, and I'm like, I bet you that's gonna happen, isn't it? Like, and then we're glad that like Joyce was asking him, like, well, if we're just taking a walk in the woods, why do you have your guns? And he's like, well, in case I run into trouble. I'm like, yeah, regardless. I mean, you don't know if you're gonna find Vecna or not, so I mean, I would rather be prepared to have all my guns on me in case I come across something crazy. And I know Hopper's smarter than that. He's like, yeah, if I see him, I'm not gonna fight him. I'm gonna turn and run. Like, yeah, no shit, you're not gonna try and fight this guy, just by yourself. With your very, I'm glad you got that picture. I'm like, with your very clearly Thunderbolt's beard, you didn't get a chance to shave yet, so whatever. Time has passed. I think his name was also Alexi in that, so I'm like, yeah, I know what you're. I know why he has it, but whatever. I like the look though. It's pretty badass. I can believe it.
Avengers with a Z.
Right? Yeah. So of course, like we're laying the pieces out here of like, yeah, this is where we're at. Hopper now kind of being stuck, and I think pretty much on his own, unless maybe I think this convoy was clearly going to the base that's in the Upside Down, so he might not be too far from it. Hopefully, and he can make it there, and that's kind of really his best shot. That might be where we get more. I haven't. You've seen episode 2, I have not, so I'm wondering if maybe that's where we get more dialogue between like Sarah Connor and like maybe him or something. I don't know. That would be my guess. But I'll see when I get there. Yeah, because I'm like, well, of course it always goes wrong in some manner. And I know I'm still, because again, I'm like, when I said I was sitting forward and I was paying attention, I'm like, so but what happened to Dustin? Is he still just taking a little nappy nap in the cemetery? Did they just leave him there? Because he was supposed to be there to help him out. And yeah, like I said, I'm curious to see what this is, what's going on with Will, that he kind of has this weird, like he's seeing through the vision of like the Demogorgons attacking the soldiers, but it's like he's seeing their point of view as it's going on. So, like I said, there is some connection now that I don't know. I'm wondering where that's going. It's not like he's the one, or I don't know. Maybe he is having this weird like being blacked out and not realizing he's doing it, and Vecna's again laid those seeds and maybe pulling some strings somewhere that this is now happening because of Will. I don't know. There's something there, and I want to know what it is. Maybe we'll find out.
It does go into a little more detail about what Will's seeing. It kind of breaks it down and gives you that bit of a reveal in episode 2.
Okay.
And he's in that he's trying to figure out how to use it to at least figure out where the hell Vecna is at, because it continues on in episode 2 that they just can't find the guy. They're still struggling to figure out why they can't find him. But yeah, I thought that was one of the cool action set pieces. I mean, again, they foreshadowed the fact that it was all going to go wrong, especially once Dustin gets his ass beat at the when he's visiting the grave. That I was like, okay, now they're going to be down a man, so that lets me know that something's going to go wrong. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's cool because it's going to set up a lot of fights happening in different places. So you're going to have a contingent of these people in the Upside Down trying to do what they got to do. You're going to have the contingent of people in Hawkins out in the real world. They're going to be doing what they need to do to try to beat Vecna. The question is how long does it take for these two groups to come together? Because obviously there's not great communication between the Upside Down and Hawkins. You can't, I mean, they were struggling to make the walkie-talkies work, which I don't even understand how that works. But you're different dimensions. Yeah. I feel like 1980s walkie-talkies probably weren't going to do the trick, but whatever. Again, the suspension of disbelief. But yeah, I'm interested to see when they finally start making their way back towards one another, because not going to get too much into episode 2, but in episode 2, Hopper gets some help in the Upside Down. But
yeah, I figured.
but not a lot of help, but I mean it's something. But
yeah, it's the best chance.
But let's move on. And I wish they would make this happen faster because I'm annoyed by this entire storyline. But Robin and her girlfriend are still doing their thing. I think they kind of met towards the end of last season or something like that.
Yeah, they started to talk to one another. So,
but Will happens to stumble upon them when they're trying to sneak a kiss. This is obviously there's a conversation that they have in the second episode that to me I was like, okay, they're working their way towards Will coming out, which I still think is a terrible storyline. It doesn't do any good for the larger story, but whatever. What do you think of that scene? I like Robin. I think she's funny. She's hilarious.
Oh yeah, Robin's awesome.
The fumbling around with her girlfriend makes sense because back in 1980, whatever, that was still a bit taboo. It wasn't quite, especially in Indiana, somewhere in the Midwest. But
right.
But I just wish they'd get over with and Will just come out and say it because I just don't want this to drag on and to be.
I'm pretty sure over the last 3 seasons, I'm like, oh my god, we get it, but can you just fucking get to the point?
Like, when you drag
it's so
it out
heavy-handed. I'm like, yeah, I'm like, just get there, man.
Look, there's a whole lot to do before the end of this series. Why are you going to waste even a moment of it by playing this 4th or 5th level storyline about Will being gay that is not really necessary anyway?
I kind of thought we were going to go there last season, like when Jonathan started to talk to him, like, it's his older brother, and he's kind of like, you can like, talk to me like we used to be closer. You'd come to me with, problems and we'd talk, but we don't really do that anymore. And I'm kind of like, right. So kind of, I think even Jonathan kind of knew, because like even when they're driving in the van and he's talking to Mike, Will's talking to Mike, like Jonathan's looking in the rearview mirror, like looking at him. I'm like, I think he knows.
Yeah.
But man, maybe he's like Will trying to get there himself and, come to him with the conversation then. But I'm kind of like, okay, but we've been doing this for like 3 seasons now. I'm like, can we like, because now it's like if this is gonna be the end, this is gonna be some big shit, and it's like, hey, Will's gay. Like, no shit, we knew that like 2 seasons ago. We knew that. So I don't want it to feel like just undermined because I'm like, well, yeah, we knew that, but now you come out and say it, we're like, well, no shit, you should have done that a while ago. I don't know. Because I felt like, with some of the seasons, like Will doesn't really do as much after like season 2. Like, because of course he's the thing that sets it off. He gets taken to the Upside Down, then he gets overtaken by the Mind Flayer in season 2, and I'm like, right, and then he just did nothing for seasons 3 and 4. Except like mope, and then I'm like, okay. and that's why it's like it's a little jarring that all of a sudden we're now like, oh yeah, now Will's important. I'm like, all right, you've been hinting that too. Like I said, when he's got his neck starts getting the goosebumps, I'm like, okay, but are we gonna do something with that? Because it seems important. Like, god damn. Just say it.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to. I really don't want to drag that storyline out. It's just. There's not really look. If you're one of the people that loves that storyline, good on you. But there's no real satisfying way for it to end if you do love it, because he's not getting it with Mike. Sorry, not how it goes.
I don't think. Yeah, Mike's kind of got his plate full with a lot of stuff.
Assuming that Mike and Elle survive this thing, you figure they're going to end up together. Even if Elle dies at the end of all this, it's not like Mike's going to be like, "Okay, I'm gay now." It's not really how it works.
Right.
That was
I think it was
show.
It was interesting that like
you ever see Queer as Folk?
Uh-uh.
A girl I used to know years ago, she used to watch that show endlessly and would make me watch it. While it was kind of funny, there was like one fundamental flaw in that show. It assumed that everybody in the world was closetly gay. And when I say everybody in the world, I literally mean everybody in the world. Like it was almost a spoof. I mean, it was meant to be like a dramatic comedy, but I mean, it was just so ridiculous. And I feel like that they're going for some kind of nonsense like that. That like
because like who's the setup for who is he gonna?
Who could he pop now? If it's just that he's gay, fine, say it, get on with it. I just don't care.
Why have we been dragging our feet?
It does absolutely nothing for the confrontation with Vecna. It does absolutely nothing for the confrontation that is inevitably going to be coming with with Dr. What's Her Nuts with Linda Hamilton's character. It does absolutely nothing. There is like I don't like the superhero relationships anyway. It's like like romantic relationships, they tend to just suck up screen time that I would rather do something else with. This is doing that, only there's no payoff at the end. It's like, that Superman and Lois get together at the end, so it kind of works. But it's like, how could this possibly end up with him in a positive situation other than just saying it? Just say it and get on with it. Why are you going to drag it out? There's so many more things I want to see have done over the course of this next 27 hours of Stranger Things we're going to be getting to wrap this series up. I don't want to waste time on stupid shit. It doesn't matter.
Like I said, especially since I don't really know where this is going. I'm like, okay, so everyone's kind of, and that's the thing that's been kind of been getting laid out in this show is like everyone's kind of got their person, like Eleven and Mike, like even Hopper and Joyce. I don't know what's going on with fucking Steve and Jonathan fighting over, I mean, Nancy, but sure. Lucas and Max, who's still in her coma, which is wild. And I mean, I guess I'm still hoping for Dustin and what's her name in Utah. We saw her, but I'm like, come on, she needs to just like show. I hope she just actually shows up and just there's that.
They sang together so wonderfully too.
Right. Fucking yeah. So everybody's kind of got their person, and like I said, now of course Robin does too, finally, because I was like that. See, like that, how that drag out for maybe like I don't know, a season maybe, but we got there. I'm like, okay, we're getting to that point, and maybe that's the thing is because like now he saw them. I don't know what it was really supposed to mean, and because like Robin runs out there in the hallway after like seeing him drop his coke, and she's like, "Oh shit!" I'm like, "Huh?" Like. I don't think he's gonna blab to everybody, but like I'm not sure if maybe the only other person knows is like Steve. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe Steve knows about her. I think Nancy might.
I was like Nancy might. Steve definitely knows, but yeah, I don't know.
Well, she told Steve last season or season before last.
Yeah, like season 3 or something. So,
but yeah, what I just get on with it. Look, let him come out and say that he's into guys. We're like, okay, great, proud of you. Now,
cool. Vecna. Let's go kill Vecna, please. Like,
now, Vecna, mind flayers, demigorgons, upside downs. Can we go do the important shit, please? God, it's just Netflix being Netflix, trying to force shit in there where it doesn't need to be forced into it. But now let's talk about this fantastic ending of this episode. As the Wheelers. At the Wheeler home, Holly notices the lights started to shift, as they often do whenever one of the people from the upside down is coming around, and the cracks in her ceiling start to grow and spread, and a Demigorgon breaks through her room, the ceiling of her room, and of course the episode cuts to black right there to credits. That was a fantastic ending to this thing. Obviously, she is going to be the target of Vecna right now for at least the rest of the series. What do you think of the way that the first episode ended? I thought it was fantastic.
That's a hell of a way to end it, because that's like I said, I think the reason why she might be the new target is because she is again a younger character that Vecna would more likely want to manipulate. Someone who probably doesn't know as much of what's going on since she was so young in the other seasons. And I wonder, because the point was, right, that like maybe not just Vecna, but like the way they get through are these gates. And I'm like, this Demogorgon just popped through her ceiling and is like, well, there's the upside down right behind him. I'm like, so what? He just casually strolled through the upside down into the Wheeler's house in the upside down and pop right through to the real world and just nabbed her. I'm like, okay, so you're telling me that's got to be, again, something to do with Vecna coming through. That's why I think maybe mysterious stranger man it could possibly be him. Because I'm like, how would you know where to go and how to just break through? I'm like, I don't think these Demogorgons just bust through any part of the upside down and just end up crossing dimensions. So yeah, I think that's going to be the driving point after this. I don't know if Nancy's mom heard Holly when she screamed for her. She's 2-3 wines deep. I don't know what, as Ted said. I don't know. What are we on now? 2, 3. So And I don't think Ted gives a shit. So he's kind of this poor guy. Like this whole series, I'm just like, man, fucking Ted. You just can't catch a break. This poor guy couldn't get bacon this morning at breakfast. Everyone's keeps taking all his food and shit.
Yeah, he's the ultimate detached 40-year-old 80s father.
Yeah, it's awesome. But yeah, I don't know. I think that'll be the focus. That's now the little sister is missing, so kind of gives us a reason to get in there, and also, since Hopper's stuck in the Upside Down, so
yeah, it's one of the cool things about episode 2. It actually shows you her being taken, and we will talk about this more in depth on Thursday when we break down episode 2. But damn, it is something out of a horror movie. That entire thing, it is. Okay. When you watch it, you will understand what I mean. It's because like the dude just kind of pops down and he comes to get her, but it's not as simple as him grabbing her and taking her in the Upside Down. It becomes like a whole crazy scene in and of itself. And the aftermath of that scene is insane. Insane. It sets Nancy and Jonathan kind of down their own path for the second episode, trying to get some information. But yeah, it's it's crazy to know that the girl got taken, and then when you see it all happen at the beginning of the second episode, it's something else. But I thought that was interesting because I do feel like Vecna is just kind of going back to the beginning, whereas he was going after Will the last time, trying to kidnap this little boy as a means to whatever his plans were. Will no longer being available, not connected to him, whatever. Now he's just going to go find some other little girl, so he gets what's her name instead. This
Holly.
little girl, Holly, but who looks like a young Danielle Pennybaker. I don't know if you know who that is. She was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, Danielle Pennybaker,
yeah, she looks dead ass like her. I kept looking at her. I was like, did they de-age her or some shit?
Maybe, or I lost the actress's name. Damn it! I was like, there's someone else that she kind of reminded me of. I'll think of it like 2 hours from now, and I'll it's not gonna matter anymore.
So follow Jeremy on Twitter. He'll tell you what he was thinking of 2 hours from
right
now. But yeah, I thought that was a great way to end the first episode, which again, kind of a little bit of getting back to where we started, also showing us where all the people that have been over the course of that episode, how their lives have, where they are now from where they began in the beginning of of this entire endeavor. It's pretty wild to see the crazy character growth and things like that was displayed in this first episode. Of some fantastic shit. Also some cool visuals. I mean, them at the picnic table, trying making their plans. I'm pretty sure that's the same picnic table from last season.
Is that where Eddie and Chrissy?
Where Eddie and Chris,
the drug deal, yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's the same picnic table.
Because it was right outside the school. Because they look over and they hear the bell ring. I was like, yeah, I think it was. It's just outside the school, so it might be.
And also, it just gives us a little bit of a taste of Sadie Sink's character. She is obviously still comatose.
Yeah, Max is still in her coma.
Yeah, she's still comatose. Still, I wonder if she's in a coma because of her experiences, or if there is still a little bit of Vecna in her brain that is working, and that's why she's.
There's still something with her, I'm pretty sure, going on, and going forward, there's got to be something with her. We still got to keep listening to Kate Bush, so whatever.
Yeah, we if you in the trailers, it actually shows at one point, and I don't know when this happens in this particular series, in this particular season, of him actually picking her up and taking her out of the bed and putting her in an elevator, trying to get away. So I don't know if he's sneaking her out so that he can catch up with the rest of the gang to do something that might help, or if maybe Vecna has put somebody on the attack to try to finish her off and he's trying to protect her.
I mean, she's kind of just an empty vessel. That'd be fucking prime for Vecna. He's like, oh, I almost had her, but like he's kind of in a vulnerable state. Like that could just be an easy pick for him. Yeah,
true. It's going to be it's definitely a very interesting ways forward from all of this. But again, I watched episode 2 yesterday. I know you haven't seen it yet. What do you expect from episode 2? That what questions do you think will be answered, and what other things do you think we're going to progress on, but maybe not get the full picture yet?
Yeah, like I said, which I figured would happen is Hopper getting to the military base, and there might be kind of some explanation as to what's going on. Maybe not the full story, but like we'll get somewhere with it, maybe. So like I said, I think that's his best bet right now. Is that's really the only place you stand a chance of going. And I guess maybe because like I said, I'd love to know what's going on with Will, him having had that experience with Vecna. And yeah, I guess that's a good point with Max too, because she's still in her coma. Maybe because she, like Lucas said, I think at the end of the last season, like, well, she technically did die, like for a minute, and she came back alive. So, and I've said this before, I'm like, I think because now maybe 11 wasn't really fully at her power, which is crazy, but now that she kind of went back through her, 80s montage training, which she didn't, but I know, again, I'm like, I see you, I know what you're going for. She goes through her little Luke Skywalker on Dagobah training thing again, sees her friends in trouble, and it's like, oh, I gotta go help them. I'm like, I know, I've seen Empire Strikes Back, so maybe there is still some power to her that we're not quite sure about. Maybe that's what Linda Hamilton's after. Because I'm wondering, because like I wondered if like maybe she has, again, D&D stuff, like maybe she's kind of got some necromancy where she can like bring people back to life. Because when she's in the hospital at the end of season 4, and she's like just kind of closes her eyes and goes like, no, like Max is not dying. Like, and even Lucas is like, yeah, the doctor said her heart stopped for an entire minute, and she just fucking came back alive. Like, it's a miracle. I'm like, everyone just looks over at 11. I'm like, yeah, I think she did that somehow. So, or at least to some degree, it shouldn't like fully bring her back, but like enough to keep her from dying. So there's an extent to her powers that we're maybe not quite sure yet what it is. So maybe we'll see that unfold.
Yeah, I couldn't find a decent picture of her and her little training whatever that was going on with Hopper and Winona Ryder.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I don't know if you noticed that she's actually dressed like fucking Josh Brolin's character from Goonies.
I was wondering, I'm like, wait, is she supposed to be? I'm like, is that outfit a thing? I'm pretty sure I know that's a thing from
the
something.
Sweats and the cutoff sweatshirt and the bandana and whatever. Yeah, she is dressed exactly like him from the Goonies, which I thought was kind of funny. Another small 80s reference, which is pretty cool. But I had pulled up. There was a little bit of trivia on this, but I don't know.
Burn it a whole lot.
I mean, there was like one or two cool ones that I thought were interesting. What the hell did I do with it? I'm trying to think if there was anything like really cool about this particular episode. I'm scrolling past shit. There it is.
Also, I guess while you look for that, I'm kind of like, so where did Argyle go? Did he just?
I read something yesterday when I was doing a little bit of reading on this episode. They just never called him to see if he wanted to come back. So I guess he's not in it. He's moved on.
That sucks. I'm like, man, you introduced this new character who's hilarious, and he's just cool. He's just kind of vibing, and sometimes he's not high enough for what's going on, but. Yeah, damn. I don't know. Did he just kind of just mosey on back to California and delivering pizzas somewhere? I don't know.
Probably. It does say here the trivia that the scene in which the four boys meet to go over the upcoming plan appears to take place at the same spot where Eddie met with Chrissy for their drug deal in chapter 1, the Hellfire Club. So, yes.
Okay. I figured.
Let's see. Here it is. Eduardo Franco revealed in a 2024 interview that Argyle would not appear in season 5 as no one from the show or Netflix had ever reached out to him about coming back. So they didn't want him for whatever reason.
That's messed up. Damn. I'm kind of look. If other things, I'm like, I know I'm holding out for it too, just like Dustin is. I'm like, you would be really goddamn stupid to not bring Eddie back at least. At least some of these other people that died, like Barb. Fucking what was the kid's name? Not Fred. some of these people that have died that were like, yeah, can we maybe bring them back? That'd be nice.
I wonder if maybe Vecna at one point, with his ability to play mind games with people, isn't going to have, one or all of these kids kind of up against the wall at one point, and then like put visions in their head of Eddie, of Barb, of things like that. I actually had a minute when I sat down to watch episode 1. Me and Jennifer sat down to watch it, and so I was like, okay, hit play, I'm ready to go. So she pulls up Stranger Things and hits play, and it starts playing, and I see Barb having a conversation with what's her name, and I was just like, Nancy? Oh, it's with Nancy, and I was like, oh, they were in the hallway of the school in a locker like most high school kids, and I was like, oh, it's nice they brought Barb back for a little cameo. And as I was watching the episode, I was like, why are we going all the way back to the beginning for like a whole last episode? Come to find out that when Jennifer had hit play, she actually just hit play, and it started on episode 1 of chapter 1.
Yeah.
And I watched the entire episode, and I was like, why did we spend an entire episode in the past? I was like, I don't understand this. And then I backed out and looked. I was like, oh shit, we just started with season 1. So
season 1.
So I just went back and watched episode 1, season 1 for apparently nothing.
Well, and maybe probably a year ago now, but like there was this commercial for I think it was something for like agriculture, but like for like crops or something. And the chick who played Barb was like the spokesperson for it. And like it's almost like she's looking right at the camera and going like, yeah, things can come back. Just like me. You can bring things back. I'm like, what are you saying, Barb? What are you talking about? What do you mean? Like turn to Jennifer Lawrence, like, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? I don't know. She did like this commercial for like a company, and she kept saying like, yeah, like you can always come back. Just like me. I'm like, what? Are you coming back? Please tell me you are. Man, because we need to give Nancy some closure on that or something.
I have a feeling that if Nancy finds herself in close proximity to Vecna and Vecna wants to fuck with her, that we're going to see Barb. We're going to see Barb walk out of the tangly tentacle walls and starts to fuck with Nancy. That would be cool to see her come in as a vision from Vecna, who is essentially she would be a bad guy and say things to try to like get at her, or maybe even we'll see Eddie come back and do something like that. I don't know. It would have been. I think it would have been unwise for them not to call Joseph Quinn and be like, hey, you want to come back for a quick thing? I mean, we killed you. We can't bring you back for the whole thing. But now, A, you're a big star. B, you're super popular.
You were like everyone's favorite.
Yeah. You were everyone's favorite character, not named L.
I'm not to capitalize on it.
So why not come back? We'll throw you a few bucks. You come back for like, a day of work. We'll film all your shit in a day while you're in between filming Quiet Place and Fantastic Four and all that. You pop in for a day or two. We'll give you some money and we'll put the wig and the jean jacket and the Hellfire shirt back on and we'll have some fun. I can't imagine
they did that with
too crazy.
And they've done that with like there's plenty of other characters that like each of them have had like Vecna could screw with a lot of them. Like I said with Nancy, it would be Barb. Like if it was Eddie, it would definitely be him messing with Dustin. I'm assuming if Max comes back, I'm like, it would be Billy. Like he would show her a stepbrother to her again and mess with her. So yeah, there's some people that have been taken by this saying that he could be playing mind games with them, with these people. So
I would imagine that at some point we're going to see a vision of everybody. Like even like Matthew Modine's character.
I would say with 11, like you might see Papa's character again. Yeah,
I mean, because for all the shit that he did, she does have this fatherly relationship with her before she had it with Hopper. So I can imagine that if Vecna wanted to fuck with her a little bit, that he would bring back Matthew Modine's character and talk through a vision of him to try to put Elle in a position where he can take advantage of her, but. I don't know. That's how I would do it. But I mean, I'm not big on the member berries. It's not like really important. But when you're in the last season, like you may as well pull out all the stops. I mean, especially if it's a way that the bad guy can screw with the good guy, kind of get in their head a little bit. That makes sense. And fans would just freak out if they saw Eddie Munson in there again.
Well, yeah. Oh, I just realized another one with Joyce. You bring back Samwise Gamgee. You bring back him. Bob's character,
I don't see any reason why that couldn't. I mean, again, not big part, but just like a vision to
Sean Astin.
Yeah, just a vision to help
yeah.
screw with him. I think that'd be fun.
But get Bob back. We want Sean Astin back. Damn it!
God, it was just unfair how it went for him, man. Such a good guy.
I knew it. Like
he deserves so much better.
Like he's such a genuine nice guy, and I'm like, he's gonna fucking die, isn't he? I'm gonna be really mad about it. Man, that one hurt. I'm like, Bob Newley, the superhero. I'm like, please stop. I'm gonna cry. I don't want him to die, man. Jesus.
Yeah, but that is episode 1 in a nutshell. We're going to come back on Thursday to break down episode 2. Again, I've already seen it. Jeremy has not yet. No. Great beginning. A lot of shit goes down in the second episode that is very interesting. Answers a few questions, asks a whole lot more. Definitely primes us for all the chaos that's going to come in the next installment, which will drop on I guess Christmas Day, and then New Year's Eve. About 5 days after that, they're going to drop the, I guess, 2-hour-long finale. I guess they're actually going to put it in theaters as well.
I kept seeing that. Yeah, like, if I was like, wait, when were you doing that?
I'd go see it in theaters. I'd go see it in theaters. I think that'd be a fun way to watch the finale. Because I had seen some people on Twitter, they were like, I already paid for Netflix. Why the fuck would I go pay to see it in theaters when I can watch it on Netflix? Right. I'm like, well, for the experience. Because I'd like to see the Demogorgon on big screen. I think that'd be fun.
Oh, God, yeah.
I think that'd be really fun.
All right, I'll go get my money at Eddie Munson outfit again. We'll go to the theater. I won't be the only one, I'm sure.
Cosplay. 100% cosplay in the theater.
Hell yeah, I would.
But yeah, so Jeremy, final thoughts. Episode 1, the final season of Stranger Things. What do you think of the beginning?
Yeah, good start. There's, like you said, questions of things I would love to know about. Obviously, like what's going on with Vecna? What's Will's angle? Like, what are we doing here with Elle? Is she about to just like go full berserk mode? I mean, I don't know. So. And yeah, what's Linda Hamilton up to? So yeah, it's got some good groundwork laid out. I'm curious to see where this goes.
And let's not forget, we still have Murray. Murray's still around.
Yes, that's true. We love Murray. Man, he's still doing his thing. Man, that's awesome.
It's
nice
to
see more of him still.
I would imagine he's just going to be a superfluous character for the rest of the season.
Yeah,
it's kind of sad because he was important for the last 2 seasons. But maybe I don't know where there's room for him in this season, though. To be honest, I mean, he's obviously got his job. He's bringing supplies and messages to the people at the station. But I don't. When it all kind of goes down, I don't see him being one of the people that's going to be in the battle. You know what I mean? When the portal scenes happen at the end of this and people are coming out of the portals ready to fight the bad guys, I don't see Murray coming out and being like, hey everybody, I'm here, Murr.
No, man, he torched all those Demogorgons in like one swoop, so I don't know, maybe put a flamethrower in his hands, let him go to town.
Yeah, really. But a very, very good start to the final season, I think. Definitely leading into some of the horror stuff, especially that opening scene with the detailed kidnapping of Will that we never got a chance to watch in the first season. Mm-hmm. And the second episode, man, it is not any less visual. Like I said, you're gonna get a kick out of the first probably 15 minutes of the episode. It's a spectacle. Really? It's a sight to behold. But I'm looking forward to seeing it. To seeing the rest of the series. I'll probably watch episode 2 again tomorrow as I'm getting the stream together for Thursday. And we will be back here on Thursday to break down episode 2 of season 5. Hopefully we'll have maybe Brooding Gamer here to talk about with us as well. Maybe even Tex. I know he's trying to work some time into his schedule to come and join us and talk about some Stranger Things. But hopefully we'll get that worked out one way or another. Jeremy and I will be here. I think this will be awesome. Jeremy, where can the folks at home find you?
I'll be here in the I guess we never called it, but we officially heard it. I guess I'm here in the right side up on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I guess we're gonna be doing some Stranger Things, and we'll get around to the nuclear apocalypse, part 2, Nuka Boogaloo. We'll get to season 2 of we got season 2 of Fallout here pretty soon, around mid-December, so that'll be exciting.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Fallout. I mean, I've been seeing the trailers, and it looks like it's pretty damn good.
Yeah, I forget. I'm actually wearing the shirt
See,
so.
he's already in uniform. He's ready to go.
I know. I've been thinking about it.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to Fallout. I really enjoyed the first season. Not having the attachment to the games that Jeremy does. I really enjoyed the first season, so I'm looking forward to what that's going to bring. You will find me back. Yeah, you will find me back here with Jeremy and maybe whoever else wants to join us on Thursday to break down episode 2 of the final season of Stranger Things. Look forward to seeing you guys there. Thanks to BJ for coming in and hanging out. Thanks to the Deity. Haven't talked to the Deity in a while. I'll get to talk to you, brother. And Darkroom Reviews. Don't forget to go check out his channel as well. He's got a lot of stuff coming up. He's been a guy I've been watching pretty regularly the last couple of weeks, watching some of his videos. Go check him out as well. And we will see you guys on Thursday. I'm really surprised Jeremy was not in full Hellfire Club uniform today. I thought if there was ever any reason to dress up as Eddie Munson.
Well, not until I see him walk out on screen, damn it. I'll get there. You know I'll be there as soon as he comes out.
We will see you guys on Thursday. Till then, adios. I mean, like I said, the second episode,
I'm waiting for it.
The first 15 minutes, you're going to get a kick out of it. I think you're going to dig it. It's definitely it's tense. It definitely kicks all this up to another notch. But and I'm
does it kick it up to 11?
It does. The first few minutes of the episode shows that nobody is safe.
Oh boy,
it's awesome.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.